Saints, welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. We've been talking this week, Super Bowl week, and worshiping at the altar of the Super Bowl because we all get consumed by it. One of the top headlines, we even talked about her yesterday, from last week was Taylor Swift. And people were really angry because Taylor Swift was in, they show shots, clips of her, video clips at some of the Chief games. And as you know, she's dating Travis Kelce, who's the tight end for the Chiefs. And people, it like immediately polarized the world. It was funny because many people got so into it, they failed to recognize that the NFL loved it because that polarity produced ratings. In the discussion of these two sides, some people were really angry because why are they showing Taylor Swift so much, and she shouldn't be there and all this kind of stuff. And people retorted to that especially I think Greg was saying some of the pro women groups were, what are you trying to do? Like tell your daughters and girls to be less, bring her down or whatever. That was part of the debate. I didn't even really follow it, so I may get it wrong. What I did discover, and Greg found this for us, or someone did, but in someone, a sportscaster, I think the one is Colin Cowherd, said that in a 3.5 hour, NFL game episode, she was on screen for 24 seconds, right? So clearly she didn't dominate, we want to see the game. But she was a major storyline. And then she kissed her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, when they won and all that kind of stuff. And it uproared, people got in an uproar and whatever. All of that leads to my point today. I am a girl dad. Is that what they call them? Girl dads. I'm a girl dad. I have 2 girls. I have 3 in my life. Well, I have many girls in my life, my mom, sister, and so on, but my 3 girls are my beautiful bride and my 2 daughters. And, one of the things that we all are struggling with in the world, it's been a battle for years, from women's suffrage way back, I guess that was the 20s, and even maybe before that, I don't even know the dates, women's rights, all that kind of stuff, voting, letting them drive, all that kind of stuff. And it's been a constant movement forward. There are still some resistance to that. I mean, not that people want to suppress women. I hope that's not the case. But that, it's still a patriarchal society, all that stuff. What's going on out there and all that kind of stuff. And though I think men should definitely lead and show their love and show respect and be genteel and gentlemen and do the best that they can to provide and protect their family, I also think that we need to raise our little girls to become lions, right? I have worked very hard together with my wife to raise our girls to be ferocious and strong and independent and faithful and beautiful and compassionate and loving human beings. Look, they are beautiful. They are wonderful. But don't meet them alone in a dark alley because they will gut you like a stuck pig. And I'm not saying that even just figuratively. They're ferocious. They're tiny little things, but man, they're fierce. We have tried to give them as much as we could to really be, powerful individuals. And look, my daughters may decide someday to marry and be homemakers and take care of families, which I would not complain. That would be beautiful. And I don't care what they do, give me grandkids. Not yet, but someday. But I also know that my girls could be, president of the United States of America. They could break that glass ceiling and be the first woman to do it. Either one of them. They're both there. And we want that. We have trained them and raised them to do that. We've tried hard to say, go forth and lead. I say all of these things not to brag about my own kids. I mean, of course, I love them and I think they're the best in the world, obviously. But I say it to us because, look, we need not to get so involved in this silly polarity, right? Like, let's bring it full circle back to Taylor Swift. They got into the whole thing of, we like Taylor Swift, we don't like Taylor Swift. And that became the battle rather than recognize that it was an NFL ratings play, right? And in that battle, we got lost over what we are, as warrior saints, what we are supposed to do. And I think pretty clearly that is to raise our children, our boys too, to raise them to be ferocious lions. We don't want our kids to just kind of go with society. I mean, most of what the world is throwing at us and what they see in their TikTok feeds and their Snap, Face, Chat, whatever all that stuff is, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever, all that stuff, Insta, they're getting a large dose and a large push to conform to the world. St. Paul tells us in Romans 12:2, don't conform to the world. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. That's our job, is to say, hey kids, think differently. Don't be like the world. Be crucifixional. Be warrior saints. And do not think for one moment that if you as parents do not teach that, that your kids will learn it. Does that make sense? Like my girls, I'm again bragging, they're amazing, but they know how to be ferocious and how to be crucifixional because my bride and I worked our you-know-what's off to teach that to them. That's what all of these, however many minutes we're at this point, is to get to that point. You must teach them. As Proverbs tells us, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he's not going to depart. In other words, lay a foundation, man. You're building a house, put the slab down first. You've got to teach them how to be crucifixional. You cannot wait for the world to do it. It ain't going to happen. You cannot wait for them to figure it out. They'll get lost because there's so much, other loud voices. It's your responsibility as a warrior saint to in turn turn around and raise other warrior saints. Time to get after it. Love you, beautiful people. We'll be back to continue Super Bowl week tomorrow. As always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.